Hello. Okay, guys, sorry because of some light issues, you know, but no way. Let's start and continue from where we ended previous live stream. Okay, so let me just quickly go through my settings over here just for now. Sorry for this light issue, guys, but I cannot do anything for that. Okay, there is some problem over here. Okay, guys, so we are back. So let's try to do it. Okay, so as I discussed in the previous live stream, that I already created my object over here. Okay, this is the main one and this is the sphere. And in After Effects, as you guys know, that we have created one null object over here and one null object over here and one null object which is going to be parent with this one. So similarly in Blender as well, we will try to recreate that stuff. So simply press Shift A, go to the empty, and we are going to choose plane axis. And in After Effects we create null object, but in Blender we create empties. So let's go to the top view, or you can press 3 to go to the right view as well, and press G for movement or transform properties, and Y so I can move it on Y axis, and by holding control I'll try to move this over here. Then I'm going to press Shift D to duplicate, then press GY, and by holding control I'm going to move this over here like that. Okay, so this is how we will get. Now obviously I want this one should be parent with this one, so let's select this first, and by holding Shift I'm going to select this null object. But before that, let's select this null object, hit enter, or you can double click and let's call it as 01. Then select this null object, hit double click and let's call it as 02. Select this box and let's simply call it box only. We don't need to call it anything else. Okay. Then select this box, and by holding Shift select this null object and press Ctrl P for parenting and choose object. So now if you see, this object is parent with this null object. So if I select this null object and if I press R X for rotation on x-axis, I can rotate it like that. And now I want this null object should be parent with this one. So let's select this null object and press Shift, and then select this null object and press Ctrl P and choose object. And now if you see this, all of this data like this and this are parent with this null object. So if I select this and if I press RX, I can rotate it on like that. Okay, like this. So now what we can do, we have this pair as well that should be get parented, and let's select this sphere, go to the transform properties, and I'm going to rotate it on this. So let's rotate it on 90 degree like that. Select this, hit Ctrl A and choose all transform. And now this pair should be parent with this box over here. So let's select this sphere, then by holding Shift select this box, hit Ctrl E and choose object. And now if I select this null object, let's go and see inside this null object we have this null object, inside this we have this box, and inside this we have this sphere. Okay, and just like After Effects, now I'm going to create this portion over here. Okay, so let's try to do that. Let's select this null object, or you can solve it as 0 1 empty, and I want to rotate it on x-axis like that. Okay, so let's press 3 to go to the right view, and let's create one keyframe at x, then go to around 10 seconds, and I'm going to rotate it on 45 degree and create one keyframe. Then go to 2 seconds, and let's make this value 0 and create another keyframe. So just like After Effects, if you see, we are getting this kind of animation. Okay, but this animation is very fast, so let's try to move this to 40, and let's move this to 20. Okay, like that. So if you see, we will get something like this, like that. Then at 40, I'm going to select this null object. Let's create one keyframe at x, go to around 60. Obviously I'm taking a gap of 20 frames, so let's make this -45 and create one keyframe. Then go to 80, and let's make this value 0 and create another keyframe. Okay, like that over here. Okay, and at this point, when it's coming over here, I'm going to select this object, and obviously we have to move it on z-axis. So initially z-axis value is 1, so let's create one keyframe, then go to somewhere around 110, press GZ and try to bring this over here, or you can type 5 or let's say 6, create one keyframe, and let's go to around 140, and let's make this value 1 again to create another keyframe. So if you see this animation now from here, like that, over here you will get something like this. But one thing I forgot to mention over here, in Blender the animation starts from one frame. So let's go to the start and let's make this 0, and initially we have created one keyframe over here, so we have to make sure that we should go at 0 seconds, I mean 0 frame, and move this keyframe over here like that. Then only we will get proper animation like that. Now obviously along with that I need rotation animation as well, so let's go over here, and we have to rotate it on x-axis. So let's make this 0 and create one keyframe, and let's go to around 140, and I'm going to make this rotation 360 degree plus 180. Okay, so obviously it will go over here and create one keyframe. So if you see this now, we will get something like that. Okay, then at this point I want this ball should come downward, and along with that it should rotate as well. So let's create one keyframe at Z, then go somewhere around 160, or even over here as well. You can try to make this proper one, so it will automatically come over here like that and create one keyframe. And we have to make sure at the start it's over here, so obviously 1 is not a proper value. So let's go over here and press GZ, and by holding Control you can try to bring this over here and create another keyframe. Okay, so if you see, we'll get something like this. Let's move this keyframe a little bit over here, go few frame forward, create another keyframe, and in middle of this it should go over here and create another keyframe. So if you see this now, we will get this kind of bounciness. Now along with that it should rotate as well, and it should rotate it on somewhere around like this. So let's make this 0 and create one keyframe, then go somewhere around over here, and let's make this value 180 degree and create another keyframe. Okay, like that. So if you see this now, we'll get this, then we'll get this, and then we'll get this. Okay, because at start as well this portion is like that. Now as you guys can see, we have applied all the procedures that we have used in After Effects. Okay, and now obviously just like After Effects, we need to add just the graph editor, and my animation is going to be in a form of loop at 164 frames, so we need to understand that. Now to animate the graph editor, simply go to this editor type and go to the graph editor, and now I'm going to animate each and every graph one by one. So first thing, I'll start with this portion, which is this. Okay, let's increase the graph size like that. Okay, like this. Now by default it is in a linear format. If your graph is not in a linear format, it would be in a Bezier format. But if you want the in your software your graph should be in a linear format, simply go to the edit and preferences, and over here I think in input over here, I don't know where is the proper settings, but in animation portion over here the default interpolation is linear. Okay, if you're Bezier, then make sure that your interpolation should be in a linear format. Okay, now let's select this portion, let's select this graph. And if you guys know, then in After Effects we have animated graph like proper curve over here. So simply press T to enable the keyframe interpolation and choose option Bezier. So as you guys can see, we will get this kind of graph. And to adjust this graph, there is a very simple trick. Simply select this graph and press S for scaling, then X because it is in a Z X axis. So press X and then press 0. So it will, and then deselect. So it will automatically come over here. Then again choose S, then press X. First of all, select this, press S, then press X, and then press 0 and deselect. Then I'm going to select this, press S, then I'll press X, and I'm going to increase the size like that. So now if you see this, and if I hit Shift spacebar to play, I'll get this kind of stuff. Same procedure I'm going to follow for this one as well. Simply select this graph and first press T and make this option into Bezier. Then select this portion, press S, X and choose 0 and hit enter. Select this, same procedure, then select this and press S, X and try to adjust the scale. Okay, like that. And if you hit Shift spacebar, you will get this, and then we will get this. Now we have to animate the position of this, but let's go inside this object transforms, and I'm going to choose this X ruler first. Okay, and this graph is totally weird, so let's try to reduce this size like that. I don't know how to reduce this size properly, so let's try to use this. Okay, so simply select this and again press T and choose Bezier. Select this graph, press S, X and try to adjust this size from here. Select this, press S, X and try to adjust this size from here. So if you hit Shift spacebar, you will get something like that. But because we haven't adjusted our Z location, so let's try to do it. Obviously we need to adjust the Z location just like we did our X rotation. Select this Z location, select this keyframe and press T and choose Bezier like that. Okay, now let's select this, press S, X, 0. Similarly select this, press S, X and choose 0 and hit enter. And select this and press S, X and try to adjust the scale like this. Okay, and now if you hit Shift spacebar, you will get something like this. Okay, now we need to adjust the graph of this one as well. So let's try to adjust the graph of this. Okay, let's try to reduce the size of this graph like that, so it would be easy for us to adjust over here. Okay, let's select this. Let's go over here, select the object transform and select this Z location. Select this and press T for keyframe interpolation and choose Bezier again. Select this, press S, X and choose 0 over here like that. And then select this portion, or select this, press S, X and choose 0 like this. Okay, and select this, press S, X and choose 0 like that. Select this, press S, X and try to adjust the graph like this. So if you see, we'll get something like this, but obviously this looks weird. So let's select this and choose, let's hit Ctrl Z again before we adjust this graph. Okay, I did one mistake over here. So initially when it's falling, it should come a little bit slow. So let's select this, press S, X and try to adjust this scale over here. Then I'm going to select this, press S, X and choose 0 over there. Okay, so it should come like this. Then select this last one, press S, X and choose 0. then select this middle one, press SX and try to adjust the scale. So now if you see this graph, we will get something like this. Okay, now there is one extra thing that we need to do over here, that we need to make this animation in the form of loop. But for that we need to apply there is one modifier that we need to apply on each and every keyframe. Okay, so we need to do that first. So let's select this portion. Okay, and I know that my first keyframe is at 0 and I want my animation should be in the form of loop at 164 frames. So I'll go to 164 frames over here, and I have created on X rotation. So let's create another keyframe over here like that and hit N, and you can go inside this object X transform, hit Ctrl A to select all of them and go to the modifiers option, add modifiers, and we are going to choose cycles. Then if you see over here, after 164 frames, it is repeating that keyframe. Same procedure we need to do for all of them. So let's select this, then go to the start, and we need to create one keyframe at start, and let's go to around 164 frames like over here. Make sure that your proper 164 frames, create another keyframe. Let's select that keyframe, hit A and choose modifiers and choose cycles. Okay, like that. Same procedure for this one as well. Over here we have created one keyframe on Z location. So select this Z location, create one keyframe at Z location as well as X rotation. Say go to 164 frames over here, one keyframe at Z location and one keyframe at X. Select this Z location keyframes, add modifiers, choose cycles, X rotation, add modifiers, choose cycles. Okay, similarly for this ball, we have created keyframe on Z locations. So at the start, one keyframe at Z location and one keyframe at X rotation. At 164 frames, there is always already a keyframe on Z locations. So we have to create a keyframe on rotation. Then select this Z location, choose modifiers and choose cycles. Over here as well, choose cycles. So what will happen because of this, even after 64 keyframes, we will get this animation in the form of loop like that. Okay, let's go to the add and let's choose timeline. Okay, so now if I make this timeline up to 360 as well, because we have applied that proper expression on each and every one, if I play this, even after this we will get this animation continuously in the form of loop like that. Okay, over here. Okay, but I don't want only this one. Okay, so let's make this 164 because my animation is in the form of loop at 160. Okay, so if you see now, I have created this portion. Let's select this and let's try to adjust the scale of it. Okay, and as you guys know that my animation is in the form of loop even after 64 seconds. So what I'm gonna do, let's minimize all of this. Okay, and let's go to around top view and press 7, and let's hide this plane. Let's select all of this stuff, and by holding shift D Y, and let's try to bring this over here like this. Okay, over here. So I have created duplicate of it, and now if I see this, I'm gonna get this kind of animation in the form of loop. This is also going to be in the form of loop from here. Then go to the top view again I'm going to press shift D Y, and let's try to bring this over here. So if you see this, now I have 3 copies of it, and now I want the there should be some alternations between their animations. So how I'm gonna achieve that? So let's hide all of them, or let's select only this portions. Let's select this one, and I'm going to select those keyframes and let's try to bring them somewhere around over here. Okay, then I'm going to select this keyframes. I mean, select, first of all, select this much portion and make sure all of them are selected. Then select those keyframe and then try to bring them a little bit forward like that. Okay, and let's keep it over here. Or instead of that, let's select this one and let's try to bring this, make sure to select all of this keyframe and let's try to bring this over here like that. So if you see this now, I'm gonna get this kind of stuff and I'll get this animation in the form of loop. Okay, but if you see over here, they are crossing each other. So let's select this and try to bring this over here. Okay, so we have to make sure that as well. Similarly, this one is crossing. So let's go over here at this point. Let's select this and let's see where they are crossing. So let's try to bring this over here. Okay, so now if I see this animation, I'll get this. Again, they are crossing each other. Let's try to bring this over here. Okay, like that. Okay, so, and still if they are crossing, there is a simple way. Simply go to the top view, press G, X and try to bring this over here. Then select this one, press G, X and try to bring this backward like that. Okay, in that way, they are not gonna cross each other. And let's enable our plane. And now we need to, render out this animation. So press Shift A, go to the camera and let's enable this camera and hit 0. Then go to the data and let's zoom out. But before that, hit N. Let's go to the view options and enable our camera to view. And let's zoom out this animation. And I'll go to this focal length and I'm going to make this 120. So I'm going to get that parallel view like that. Okay, and let's adjust this camera. Let's disable this camera to view now. And now if you see, we will get something like that. Okay, this looks good to me. And if you want, then you can try to add a little bit over here like this. Okay, yep. Then select this plane and press S and adjust the scale. Okay, like this. Now let's disable this camera to view, and now we can add lights to our scene. So press Z and choose render view and go to the render settings and initially choose EV and hit N. Then I'm going to press Shift A, light, and I'm going to choose area light and press S for scaling option and scale the size. Let's go to the top view, press G and let's move this over here, press R and let's rotate it like this, press 1, press R, press GZ and try to bring this over here and then rotate it like that. Okay, and now it's 0. Obviously we cannot see anything, so let's try to add light over here. Then go to the light settings and we are going to make this power to 1000 and even add 10 in it. Okay, so let's select this and let's move this over here and let's move this over here and hit 0. So we are getting this kind of light. Then I want this light from all 4 directions, so hit Shift D, move this over here, press R and let's rotate it like this. Press Shift D, move this over here, press R, rotate it like this. Shift D, move this over here, press R and let's rotate it like this. Okay, and hit 0. So if you see this now, we are gonna get this kind of animation. If you want to enable this, and let's add 10 extra in some lights like this. Let's add 10 extra in some lights. Okay, over here. Now if I go to the render view and if I enable the cycles, and now if I see this animation, I'm gonna get this kind of animation. But as you guys can see, it's quite dark over here, so we need to reduce that 10 in this one because we need to render out this animation over here. So let's select this um, plane. Let's go over here, new color, and we are going to choose complete black color over here like this, and you can hit N go to the camera to view, zoom in a little bit your camera, and you can get this kind of animation over here like this. Okay, over here, just for the reference, we are going to choose Kiwi like that. And if you want to make this animation more realistic, simply go to the camera view, data, enable depth of field, go to the depth of field, and focus distance. You can adjust the focus distance, and let's make this f-stop to 0.2 maybe, and try to adjust the focus distance on the center. So let's increase this value until unless we are gonna get properly focused on the center. If you want, you can pick up this speaker and pick up this object as well, so it will automatically focus on this, and you can make this point 101 as well. It's totally up to you, or you can, let's close this and try to adjust this properly over here. Let's make this point 2, let's make this 35, let's make this 45 or 55, and you can now try to adjust this properly at the center. And if you want to check it out, simply reduce this value, and you have to play around with this value to see whether your distance is properly focused or not. I'm going to zoom my camera a little bit to give it a proper look, and as you guys can see, with the help of this, we will get this animation a proper look over there. Okay, like that. Okay, so let's try to adjust it over here. And if I go and if I render out this animation in cycles, as you guys can see, we will get this kind of proper render over here. Okay, so yep, this is how you can create this kind of 3D animation, as well as you know 2D animation in After Effects as well as in Blender. So I hope you guys like this technique, and I hope I'll come with this kind of methods in future. And as I said earlier in my live stream, that please check it out, my Motion Pro membership, which is just for 59 rupees. It will be a support for this channel, and you will get access to all the new videos. Similarly, you can join my Udemy courses as well. Over here as well, you will get a lot of to learn, and it is from scratch. Okay, so yep, thank you so much for watching this live stream, and sorry about the issue because of my light conditions. So thank you for watching this, and like, share, and subscribe to my channel and support this channel like you always do. So yep guys, thank you for watching today's stream.